Welcome back to the Dark Knight's Tales podcast, a podcast dedicated to horror fans around the world. I'm your host, Tanis Clark, and I'm glad to present Haunted Ship, written by Jaydeep Shah and performed by Tanis Clark and Sean Antony.
Once, a long time ago, people loved traveling on a tremendously large ship in Packwaves Ocean because the ship was fast, cheap, and the service was always best. This ship had 4 captains who piloted it day and night: John, Kim, Lima, and David. One day they were voyaging with oil barrels from east to west in the morning time. No travelers at all on the ship. After a day of traveling, at midnight they detected a girl in the ocean screaming for help. They stopped their ship. While 3 captains were thinking about whether or not to save her, Kim jumped in the ocean and rescued the girl. They started their journey anew to the west. The girl was sleeping in one of the rooms on the ship. Kim and Lima were sleeping in their rooms. John and David were driving the ship. After a while, Kim woke up, went to the girl's room, and raped her. The girl shouted for help. John and David heard the girl's painful voice, and even Lima woke up hearing the girl screaming, but no one stopped Kim to protect the girl. After he raped the girl, Kim strangled her and threw her dead body in the ocean. After that day, John, Kim, Lima, and David fled somewhere far away from their residence. The girl's soul left her body but stayed in the ship and waited for those captains to return so that she could exact her revenge on them. In the rage of vengeance, the spirit of the girl killed those people who had tried to finish the terror of her by destroying the ship and burning her soul. No one now liked to travel on this ship because everyone knew that the ship had become haunted. After many years, John, Kim, Lima, and David finally returned. Yet they received the responsibility for a different ship. However, after a few days, they decided and then requested to their superior to let them travel by their old ship. Only in a few days, the superior granted them the permission because he never experienced and so never believed the fact of the haunted ship. After a month, the captains felt something weird. Something unsatisfied as they entered the ship, but they disregarded their feelings. John, Lima, and David continued walking after Kim, and then inspecting the ship, they began their journey to the south with wine barrels. After reaching the middle of the ocean, they heard a weird commotion of someone scratching a metal against metal, and someone's whispering several times. But they did not pay attention to it all, not even once. In the evening, when the commotion continued over and over, not ending even for a fraction of a moment, the captains searched for the source of the sound, but they failed to find anything. And then the sound also stopped irritating them. In the middle of the night, when John and David were driving the ship, Kim was inspecting rooms and Lima was cleaning the ship. Lima suddenly heard the girl's voice from one of the rooms. He rushed to the room, but no one was there. He thought, it was simply my superstition. Lima was about to exit the room, but he heard the same voice again, and he stopped. He looked around, but no one was visible to his eyes. He felt someone muttering in his ears. Lima tried to run out of the room, but he failed as the girl levitated him, dragged him back in the room, and thumped him to the ground. Even though Lima was shouting for help in a thunderous voice, no one heard him. It seemed like the ghost had stopped his voice in the room, using her occult powers. The girl's phantom eventually appeared in front of Lima. After gaping at her for a moment, Lima began running hither and thither in the room, and then tried to hide behind a sofa in a fright of his death. However, the enraged ghost of the girl captured Lima and killed him by plunging a knife in his head. The night had become horrifyingly dark when the girl's phantom was taking revenge on her murderers. Then John and David encountered the girl's ghost. They apologized to her for their sin, but the girl did not forgive them and killed them brutally, stabbing them multiple times with her sharp nails in the heart. She went to Kim's cabin where she scared him with various dangerous, scary sounds, such as sobbing and screaming. She even whispered for help, the same way she did on the night when Kim had killed her. Kim ran out of his cabin in panic, terror, distress, misfortune, trepidation, and hallucination of his death when the girl's phantom appeared and stood only a few inches away from him. The girl's phantom glided after him, whispering, Kim tried to open the rooms, but the doors were locked. When he couldn't find a way to escape, he halted. He turned around and stared at the ghost girl with his eyes filled with hope to survive.
I will not let you escape. I want revenge. And so I will kill you today. You will have to come with me to my world,
she said in a spooky, thundering voice. The girl's phantom went under the ocean with the ship. She severed each one of Kim's body parts in the ocean, and then she left this world forever and returned to her globe of afterlife with Kim.
Thank you for listening to this episode. This story was originally published in The Revenge, Book 1 of Horror Stories series. If you enjoyed listening to this story, consider buying The Revenge. We will be back on Wednesday with one more scary tale. In the meantime, listen to our previous episodes of Dark Knight's Tales podcast and check out the author's website, www.jaydeepshah.com.